Hello and welcome to Little Film Fest Classrooms. I am Tim and this is lesson 3 of week 4, is it? Oh, I'm losing track. Is it Saturday? Is it Tuesday? Is it even a day? Oh, what year is it? I don't know. They all feel a bit the same, don't they? Anyway, welcome to Little Film Fest Classrooms, where we help you to make a feature-length film over 7 weeks. It is script writing week and it's lesson 3, and we're going to be carrying on writing our scripts from yesterday. So you should have written scenes 1, 2 and 3. You should also have a plan to help you script today. How did you do? Were they good? They weren't. What a shame. They were. Fantastic. Choose the answer that you like, that is appropriate to you. So this week we have already read and studied chapter 3 of El Dorado. We'll be making choices for the next scenes in our adventure. We'll learn how to write scripts, and we'll finish those scripts off today before editing them and drafting them, and also thinking a little bit how we would film in tomorrow's lesson. Finally, in tomorrow's lesson, we will be performing our scenes on camera, getting all of our pretty faces on the screen. So just to recap what makes a fantastic script, let's look at this one from our chapter 3 of El Dorado. Don't forget to have your characters written in bold, because it shows us very quickly who is speaking which lines. And also just next to your character we have a stage direction of how your character will speak, so that all of your actors will know how to do it, and also you will as well, so it's very handy to actually have it up, because it means you don't have to remember everything all the time and allows you to actually think about what you're doing with your hands and how you're walking on stage, etc. So if you get all your ideas down, it means you just don't have to think as much, which is really useful. Then we have the dialogue, what your character actually says, and we'll write this out quite normally. Make sure you try to write it in their voice. Think back to the first week when you were writing your characters. How would each of those characters speak? They're not all going to use the same words or the same sentences. Some will be longer because they might be more intelligent. Some will be shorter, and maybe some of them will be a bit crazy. They might be using some of their own vocabulary, which is really fun to actually invent. And then finally we have the stage directions that aren't in brackets between characters' dialogues. This tells us exactly what the character is meant to be doing. So we can see again, the example on the board is Louis turned to her quickly with a frightened expression on her face. We know that the actor's meant to be doing that at that time. Just as it says earlier, Bannever glances at Louis, worried that she might make him even angrier. So we know Bannever looks then at Louis, and then she probably will have a worried expression either on her face or using her body in another way. So we'd like you to write up the last 2 scenes of your script for this week. Scene 4, our heroes find who they were invited to meet in the letter. What is the setting like? And scene 5, they finally meet who they were meant to. Well, what is the twist? You don't have to have one, but maybe they add more information to the story or tell you a bit more about your group's ultimate goal. So it could be that El Dorado is protected by the most dangerous spirit in all of the land, or a dangerous tribe that is bloodthirsty for the blood of Spaniards. That could be what Louis is coming up against. So now you know what the ultimate goal and the ultimate problem will be. So as soon as you've written your scenes, we'd like you to use the heart, the plus and the question mark, maybe on each other's work. Maybe you could ask someone else to look at and read through your work so that they can tell you what exactly they really like, and maybe you can do a bit more of that just across the rest of your work. You could use the plus to say, tell me more. They like something, but maybe there's not enough of it there for them. And you can use the question mark. I don't get this part. Maybe there's a scene, maybe there's something that has been made clear that you need to improve on. And off the back of that editing, we'd like you then to make sure that you have a final script ready to go in tomorrow's lesson. And your final challenge for today, so much else to do today, that's why I gave you 3 scenes to write yesterday and 2 today, is we'd like you to plan the shots for each scene. Now here's a suggestion, you don't have to go with this, but it does make it easy to film and edit together. Because what can happen is you can have a lot of remembering to do, because it's a lot of script delivery, so you're actually saying lots over the top. It's actually easy to split your scene up into 3 separate parts, so you have to remember less at a time. It's also not very good to read your scripts out here. I know lots of people will think that it's good to have the script behind the camera or just be reading out like that, but it does make it look quite unprofessional. And we are in week 4 now, you are professionals, so I'm expecting that you do try and remember some of your script because it will make the filming look so much better. But what's nice about filming in shorter segments is that you have to remember less. So you might have to remember one line, and if you look at scene 1, you could film that in 3 shots. So your first line, you could shoot it in a wide shot, which is the first one that you can see there. We've looked at a little bit about close shots and mid shots and wide shots in week 1. So go back if you want a little refresher of that. So you could film your first scene where the detectives or your group are walking onto the scene and you can see exactly where they are. The wide scene shows us the setting and where they are. So this might be they're getting on the boat or they're getting on the rocket, and then they say their first line. The second line then could be a mid-shot as one person reacts to what the other person had said, and then finally we could have a close-up shot of another character who's saying, "Let's get on the rocket," or something like that. Again, you don't have to do it in this way, but it's good to plan out exactly how you're going to shoot it based on your script. Scene 2, you could then film in 2 shots. So again, a wide shot is often a good shot to actually have first because it shows where the characters are, and then you could have a mid shot as 2 people decide to talk to each other. Scene 3, you could have it in 4 shots. It depends how complicated your scenes are. These are just ideas. Again, you can do it any way that you want. But look at your script. If you have someone starting to have a discussion with someone very early on, you might want to start with a mid shot. Again, then show where they are with a wide shot. Follow that with a reaction shot, and finally a discussion shot. I laid scene 3 out like that because I thought it would be a good way to introduce the characters to where they're camping for the night or where they're staying for the night, which is what you should have already planned. So you can imagine 2 characters saying, "Oh, shall we stop here for the night? I'm really tired." And then it shows exactly where they are. So it could show them in the middle of an opening in the rainforest. "Oh, I don't feel safe in this place. It's too open," or it's too noisy. "Oh no, I'm going to go hunt for some wild boa constrictor. I'm starving." And then that's followed up with a close-up of maybe someone being very careful with a bow. "Got it! I got one." So they have a discussion about where to stop. The camera then goes to wide shot, so it shows where they stop, and then it goes to a close-up of someone really concentrating on hunting, and then a discussion to finish that scene. And that's how scene 3 would go based on those shots. And then finally you could have a different one. I'm just mixing it up. I'm just trying to make it very interesting. So you could start scene 4 with a close-up. Again, this is the expression of them seeing exactly the goal of going to see the person that they want to see, followed by like a mid shot because it's a discussion, and then it shows a wide shot of where they finally are. So it'll be lots of short and sharp shots in this one. That's really important. Really have fun when we're doing this. And again, in tomorrow's lesson, it doesn't matter if you want to add an extra shot in that you haven't planned. This is just a rough guide to helping you to think about what you need to film based on your script. Don't forget to send in your plans. We'd love to see them and celebrate them. We want to see your writing and also your plans for your filming. You can take as long as you want on these. The more time you put into them, the better, really. The better planned this is. Sometimes it can take us a long time to write a script and then plan how it looks. And that's just us. And we're moderately grown-ups. We're fairly big. Also, we'd love to celebrate your work on this channel, so please do send it in. At LitFilmFest on Twitter, info@litfilmfest.com on the old email, which is, I've said, it's so old compared to the Facebook page, which is LitFilmFest Classrooms. And now it's time to celebrate some of LitFilmFest Classroom's biggest fans. And amazingly, we've still got work coming in from the second week. I love it, absolutely love to see this. So you can see the introduce, inform and instruct part of our letter. This is from an ex-gangster. Oh, cool. Septillion's cousin, and I'm 15 years old, 2 years older than the Infinity Four. Lantas, I like that. Some good drawings there as well. And he's informing the group to tell them to find the Eternal Stone and how to control it, and how to survive the journey. It feels a bit of injury there, I like that. And the instruction is then to go to South Japan through the forgotten passages under the ocean to find the stone to save them. I'm really looking forward to finding out how your trip to South Japan and going through the forgotten passages under the ocean really pans out. That sounds really exciting. Very different. We've got a huge diary entry here from Dylan from Hastings. Great work, Dylan. You've really enjoyed doing this. I can see that. I'm just going to jump to day 3 because, again, we'll be watching your film if you make one on Thursday's lesson. Suddenly, we were woken as the raft began to jump and bump as the boiling and bubbling water tossed the raft around as we approached the rapids. We were tipped all over the place. Everyone was screaming to me to use the teleport button, but I couldn't reach it. We had the windows open and the water was flooding in. I looked out of the window as the raft was spinning faster and faster. Suddenly it lurched towards the shore. I quickly put the van into turbo, pressed hard on the pedal, and zoomed towards the bank. That is excellent writing, Dylan. You really had me there. There was lots of action going on. It almost feels like its own book rather than a diary entry. I think that's wonderful. That was a fantastic use of vocabulary. Well done, Dylan. Loved reading that. So thank you everyone for joining us today. It was great to see you. It's filming day tomorrow. Whoop, whoop, woo. I know it's everyone's favourite. All right, not everyone's favourite, but if it's not your favourite, you can get other people to do stuff and you can be the director behind the camera. And that's fun, having a degree of power, isn't it? Eh? Yeah? Yeah? No? Yeah? Anyway, the power that I shall show you now is by ending the lesson. Here endeth the lesson. Take care everyone. See you at 10:30 tomorrow. The Power Hand.